What's up with everybody? This your man Moyo B.
And Nicole.
We're back and with some more reaction videos. Simple history.
We like this stuff.
Yeah. The Frontiersman. The Frontiersman who came back from the dead for revenge.
I wonder if this is what that movie's off of. The one with Leonardo DiCaprio. I can't think of the name of it though.
I don't know. But
it was more recently it came out, but we never saw it.
Probably getting messed up by a bird right now, so I guess he must come back from the dead. He must go after the bird like, man, hey, I'm finna get you. You finna do me like that. So we finna die right into it.
The Frontiersman who came back from the dead for revenge. The year was 1822. In the Missouri Republican newspaper was an ad requiring 100 enterprising young men to trap beaver along the Missouri River for a period of up to 3 years. It was a new company who would soon be known as the Rocky Mountain Fur Company. One of the men to apply was Hugh Glass, a 40-year-old frontiersman from Pennsylvania. If later newspaper accounts are to be believed, he had already led a colorful life, having been a pirate as well as having lived for a number of years with the Pawnee Indian tribe. Glass's career got off to an eventual start with the Rocky Mountain Fur Company. Soon after he joined them on his first trip, his group was attacked by the semi-nomadic Arikara tribe. The attack killed 10 trappers and injured 14 others. Glass was one of the wounded, having been shot in the leg. This event was of more significance than was first realized, as it resulted in the very first Indian War west of the Missouri. Glass was not badly wounded, and after a brief recuperation at Fort Kiowa, which is located in what is now South Dakota, he set out in early September 1823 on a trapping expedition to the Yellowstone River. The terrain in the area was rugged, consisting of rolling hills, plains, ravines, and large patches of grassland. The following account of what happened next is drawn from newspaper reports, as Glass never formally recorded what actually happened to him on this ill-fated expedition. And though there is no doubt that there was some embellishment to the story, it's mostly known to be true. On the way to the Yellowstone River area, while hunting for food near the Grand River, Glass disturbed a female grizzly bear and her 2 cubs. The bear savagely attacked Glass, probably out of a protective maternal instinct. Glass and the other man managed to kill the bear, but Glass was left badly mauled with a broken leg and cuts that were so deep they exposed his ribs, almost tore off his scalp and ripped the flesh on his back. The other members of the expedition were convinced that Glass would not live for long. Despite this, the group dragged Glass along on a litter for 2 days, but then the group came to the conclusion that Glass was not going to make it. They decided to leave Glass behind, and the leader of the expedition asked for volunteers to stay behind with Glass in order to give him a decent Christian burial. 2 fellow trappers, John S. Fitzgerald and a man identified as Bridges, volunteered to stay behind, probably enticed by the $80 bonus the company offered them for doing so. As the others left, the 2 hurriedly started to dig Glass's grave, knowing they were deep inside hostile Native American territory. A short time later, Glass and the 2 men were attacked by an Arikara raiding party. In the ensuing skirmish, Fitzgerald and Bridges grabbed all the equipment and took flight. In the confusion, the Arikara ignored Glass and chased after the other 2. None of them would return for him. Another version of the story was that after 5 days of waiting for Glass to die, the 2 men lost patience and just gathered up all the equipment and left. Either way, Glass found himself alone in the South Dakota wilderness with no supplies or weapons. All he had were the clothes he was wearing and a bearskin hide. Glass quickly realized his only chance of survival was to get to the nearest settlement, but that was Fort Kiowa, which was over 200 miles away. Glass bound his broken leg the best he could and started to stumble and crawl south using a local predominant landmark called Thunder Butte, which was a 2,700-foot-high steep-sided hill as a navigation aid. Meanwhile, Fitzgerald and Bridges had caught up with the main trapping party and reported that Glass was now dead, having passed away due to his wounds. In the first week, Glass did everything he could do to survive, eating berries, insects, and snakes along the way. His progress was slow and it looked like he would never make it to the fort alive. But then, by luck, he came upon a pack of wolves devouring a buffalo calf they had just killed. Glass waited patiently, in hiding, until the wolves had had their fill and moved on. Glass managed to then scavenge a sizable amount of buffalo meat. This allowed him to set up camp and spend a few days resting and recuperating. It is said in order to prevent gangrene in his wounds, Glass
Put
allowed
larvae?
maggots to eat the dead, infected flesh.
Yeah. Smart, though.
With rest and food, Glass recovered sufficiently enough to continue his journey south at a much faster rate than before. On reaching the Missouri River, there are two main differing versions of what happened next. He either managed to get a simple hide boat off some friendly Lakota, or he himself managed to build a crude raft alone. Either way, he then floated downstream, reaching Fort Kiowa by mid-October, 6 weeks after first setting off. Glass was lucky he was traveling when he did, as the temperatures were still quite mild. Another month would see the onset of winter, and his chances of surviving such a journey in these conditions would have been minimal.
Yeah, that would have been a lot harder.
Once he recovered, Glass went to the local trading post, and as a member of the Rocky Mountain Fur Company, he could get credit there. There he purchased a rifle, shot, powder, and set out to find the two men who he had felt betrayed him. He eventually found Bridges at a camp at the mouth of the Bighorn River, but Glass, seeing how repentant the 19-year-old was, forgave him, concluding that Fitzgerald was the real villain. Glass had found out that Fitzgerald had joined the army. He had trekked all the way to Fort Atkinson in what is now Nebraska, where Fitzgerald was stationed. Once there, he confronted him, but was forced to spare his life as an army captain intervened, telling Glass that killing a United States soldier was a capital offense and he would be hunted down and hanged if he did. The captain arranged for Glass's rifle to be returned to him, which Fitzgerald still had, and he was to be given $300 compensation for the hardships he had suffered. Glass left the fort and for the next decade worked in the region as both a trapper and a hunter.
Wow.
In 1833, he is thought to have died, and after that date, he was never seen or heard from again.
Damn.
And thus was the beginning of the legend that was Hugh Glass.
Interesting. It's pretty intense to be able to, like, not just survive
I don't know how you able to survive
a grizzly bear attack like that. I mean, because female grizzly bears are no joke.
Yeah.
No joke.
I still don't know how he survived it, man, because so many chunks of his body was, like, taken out, deep scratches. You know, like, you can see, like, his rib cage. That's what it makes it sound like it sounded.
Yeah, they said some of them were so deep you could see your ribs. He obviously knew how to survive, though. Like, he knew how to... You know, he knew how to get along, he knew how to hunt and gather, so he knew how to eat insects and what berries were okay to eat. He knew how to obviously make fires. I mean, he was a hunter and a trapper, so he knew that.
Eat parts of his dead skin.
Eat your dead flesh,
Yeah.
to keep it from getting infected.
Yeah.
But, that's amazing. I mean, could you imagine being those two guys? Pretty sure he was going to be dying soon. All of him showing up for revenge all of a sudden,
oh no! And the guy that was 19, like, well, he's still young. He just, you know.
He was probably just going along with what the other guy said.
You couldn't kill the other guy because he said if you kill a soldier, then you're going to be hunted and hanged. So you're like, okay.
But at least the military kind of, you know, they gave him his weapon back and they gave him some money for it at least.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. So I wonder what the real story was. Because if the two guys got scared off because some, you know, native tribe came in, then, okay, I kind of understand that.
Yeah.
But if they just got bored and ran off, then, okay, I understand him going for revenge because... That makes more sense, but
man, it's crazy, man. But nobody don't know what happened to him. You know, how did he die?
I know. Then he disappeared later. It was like over a decade later or something. Yeah. But I mean, who knows? He was a hunter and trapper. Was probably out on his own. I'm sure he probably did just get killed by something this time.
He could have. He probably like to live in the woods, live on his own. You know.
Or that, he just disappeared and did his own thing.
Yeah.
Possible too.
Yeah, me say you think it was like based on a movie. I think I know what you're talking about.
There was the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, and it was like an old, it was only like the last year.
Yeah, like a year and a half ago.
The Revenant. That's the name of it. I don't know if this is the same story.
Someone based off of that.
I don't know. I was curious. I feel like the story was similar. But I'm going to look it up. Maybe it's not, but that's the name of it, The Revenant. I think it was the end of 2016 when that one came out. We never did see it.
Nah,
but everyone says it's supposed to be good.
Yeah, because you said you want to see it.
It's supposed to be good, but we haven't seen it.
Well, it's on Netflix, man. It's on Netflix. You can check it out.
Might be. We'll have to look it up.
But nah, then probably got to go rent it.
But maybe it's not on this story. I just feel like it was something similar to this.
Yeah.
So that's why I was curious. I'll have to look it up, though.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, it seems pretty cool being a hunter and stuff like that. You know, living off the woods and forests and stuff like that.
It's a rough life.
Yeah, it is a rough life. He definitely made sure he waited for those wolves to leave. You know.
Oh yeah, he was smart enough to know how to be patiently waiting and then scavenge the meat off that they left. But
yeah, I guess he must have ate them raw probably.
Yeah, I mean when you're starving and you're hungry, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
But you kind of don't need to eat the blood too, or he just like this.
Probably. I mean, if you're just pulling meat off and eating it raw, there's gonna be blood in that.
Yeah.
I mean, he also could have cooked some. I guess he didn't make a fire, probably. So I don't know. Maybe he could have cooked some too.
I just can't imagine.
Yeah, but that's just because we're not used to that kind of stuff. We're not. He was a hunter, so for him, he might have been used to something.
I guess he wasn't eating for the taste. He was just eating for like protein and to survive and stuff
right.
like that.
Mm-hmm. It gave him the energy to be able to stay a couple days and heal, and then have the energy to walk to the fort. Yeah. But it's still pretty impressive. Not only being able to survive, because kudos to his survival skills, and being able to hunt because he had no weapons, so he scavenged that. But then also be able to like know how to get there. Just by one landmark. Yeah. That's impressive.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we definitely enjoyed it. It's a simple history, make some great videos. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. But we better get in that video. Don't forget to check out our pinned comment in our description. If you want to support our channel, check those links out. Don't forget to subscribe.
And thumbs it up.
Turn on notifications. It's your man, B.
And Nicole.
Want to catch you on the next video. Awesome. Peace and love, baby.